Alright, everybody, welcome back to the second act of tonight, where we go from the Librum to the field of battle. As we return to Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, I am your host. The hosts are still here. Let's get into it.
Yep.
So last time we were introduced to the Baleful Edict Strike Cruiser, to our... I forget what his actual rank is, Ektar? I believe he's Commander Ektar.
When do we get Ektar Cooler?
And on our way back to Titan, we were conscripted by Inquisitor Vakir here to go and investigate a spooky astropath message, which has gotten us a fancy corpse for her to research, and signs of some kind of weird, profane, nurgly thing in the sector. So we're going to go ahead and, while we are here, take a minute to just talk to the various people, because they all got stuff to say.
We both have work to do. What do you need? This one appears to be some kind of host. An object is nestled within. It is different from what I've seen with these puppets in the past. If we must. The Grey Knights will be needed in this task, and it is your duty to marshal them.
Yeah, so the lines here are not perfectly voiced, but they generally get the gist
she
across.
says part of it, but yeah.
The Inquisitor here does not mince words, as most Inquisitors don't.
Yeah.
Ektar, by the way, is a purifier.
What's that?
Ektar is a purifier.
Got it.
Ah, that clarifies things.
Title?
I had previously been hunting heretics siphoning power directly from the Hadex anomaly, not far from your previous campaign. Divining the visions of astropaths is an art in itself.
Making that up.
Do I bore
Yeah, I
you?
don't believe this word called art.
Why
Yeah, so
pull you?
So she specifically talks about, is the garden, is it metaphorical or literal? And this is, again, where my knowledge of the 40k universe kind of fails me. Because there's a similar line in Dawn of War 2, where some of the astropaths in the sector that Dawn of War 2 takes place in mention the coming of a shadow in the warp, and none of the people in the room, except for Steve Bloom, know what that means.
And Shadow of the Warp is the Tyranids.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
We as players know that the Shadow of the Warp is Tyranids, but there's a conversation I've had with Shiv in the past, and apparently it's not out of the question that a Space Marine chapter would not know that about Tyranids.
No. Information is not perfect, especially from chapter to chapter, even including stuff like information about chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos.
An old
Don't let Jack know.
Yeah. An old chapter like the Dark Angels or the Ultramarines will have information on that, although usually that will be reserved for like the higher ups. But like a newer starting chapter may know fuck all about certain forbidden things.
Yep.
Likewise, you spoke of a garden as metaphorical or literal, and that's where like in-universe knowledge versus knowledge of me who is reading Warhammer fiction. Like, how many people know about the garden of Nurgle?
The vast majority of people, whether or not they're aware of Nurgle to begin with, are even less likely to know about the fact that Nurgle actually has a garden.
Yeah.
See,
also, the answer to whether it's metaphorical or literal is yes.
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 My research beckons.
Porque no los dos.
We're dealing with the Immaterium. It is metaphorical by nature.
Yeah.
Also, it is literally a garden.
I have something stuck in my throat.
Look, like the Mechanicus writers, whoever was writing for this game understands the mindset of a tech priest.
Yes.
I will not have the edict put at risk, even for an Inquisitor.
It's like, do you think I did not have the protocols up the second she brought that thing on board? Give me some credit.
The ship will remain sterile.
Instigated 7 layers of redundancy as well as the highest security protocols, and even a binarious rubric mesh placed over the baleful edict conjugator system.
Look, we're not getting a stinky virus on the computer.
Debatable.
The baleful edict has never let any of the brotherhoods that have traveled in her down.
I'd be more worried about gaining the Gellerfield.
Way of the Inquisition.
I'm not going to pretend to believe I understand what that is.
They are often illogical, driven by the vulgarities of flesh. Instant results
Okay.
required even under dispassionate
here's-
analysis is beneficial.
Okay, so here's the, 3-sentence explanation of the Gellerfield. In the Warhammer 40k universe, we achieve faster-than-light travel by tunneling through hell every time we do it. The Gellerfield is a field around our ship that keeps us from experiencing turbo hell.
Yes, but also no. That's a partial description of the Gellerfield.
Like I said, that's the 3-sentence description.
But it's good enough, which is the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it explains
Okay, so for
the purpose of it,
Yeah.
not how it works. I don't need to know
Yeah.
how it works. His purpose is good enough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
oh no, it's far funnier with how it works. You see, a Gellerfield is actually a psyker that is sleeping and dreaming of reality. That's what creates the field around the ship. It is literally creating a dream of reality around unreality. It is also a nightmare existence because I just said psyker in 40k. You should. This is pretty standard if they're not like a sanctioned psyker.
I love this line. He's a leader in the Grey Knights, so he was revered. However, my own analysis has his mission success rate at a mere 99.7%. He spent many hours in repentant contemplation over the 0.3 inadequacy whenever I remind him.
He did not suffer fools.
That
Those that dared countenance his
that's amazing.
defiance suggests an emotional need to obstruct.
Yeah, the Grey Knights are actually known for being very good at their job.
Yep.
By the few people who know they exist.
Guys, I was gonna say, most people who see them, whether or not their mission is successful, are usually killed off, so...
That is correct.
Yes. Good news is you survived a demonic invasion. The bad news is you're not important enough for us to let you live with the knowledge of chaos and demons, so we're killing you too.
Hey, you know in XCOM where you had to save people in a
Time to get
terror
rid of it.
mission? You know what we're not doing in this game?
The Ecclesiarchy's imperial creed carries only a muted echo of the machine god's true will. Waiting for new input. Repairs are progressing, Commander. Servitors and components have been allocated. Praise the Omnissiah. The interaction is over.
Do you seek wisdom, Commander? I am no ancient, but might be of some help.
What do you think about the
Already
Inquisitor?
makes demands on a ship.
Of course you're no ancient. I don't see you with a banner.
Constitution. Even we must respect the authority of the Inquisition when the situation demands it. It is a term that has fallen out of fashion.
Yeah, he's basically just mentioning that the Grey Knights are the
The
arm
chamber
of the
villain.
Order Malleus.
Or the Order Malleus, correct.
It was a strategic decision.
And yeah, he's like, yeah, partially this is just old bullshit. But also this means that now she has to play by that old bullshit, so we still get to call the shots.
If you want to invoke the old bullshit, we invoke all the old
Old
bullshit.
bullshit.
Yeah.
By all means. It seems the
I gotta respect that.
plans for me. A matter between myself and the Emperor.
And yeah, we're gonna learn later about what Ektar's past is, but for the moment he's not willing to talk about it. Just like, I'm technically not allowed to lead a group of soldiers. I can be your advice, but
He's on penance. He has to serve the ship, but he can't leave it.
I hope I can be of some use. He had a fitting end to his noble life.
He was unceremoniously squeezed like a grapefruit by a bloodthirster.
It is not my place to say.
Of course, Corn being created by rage would in turn be fed by Agrava's hatred, but that's the nature and irony of chaos. Our job kind of sucks.
By all means, I hope
All right.
it aids you, brother.
So now with a brief discussion with all of our people, we can go ahead and get back to the main gameplay. We just had the star map open up to us.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we do not have, despite having two systems with one corruption in it.
Yeah, there are no events going on there.
Yeah, there's no events going on, so we're just going to advance time a little. Advancing time. There we
It's
go.
advancing.
And the Augurium is operational. So, first off, we're going to start a new project. If we can afford the servitors to do it. Yep. Yeah, so we're going to
Get our servitor production online.
servitor productions. We can get a steady supply of servitors from this point forward, which is going to be important, because the only other way to get them is through rewards from battles.
Mission rewards. Yep.
Head back
We have
here.
restored functionality
Oh!
to the Augurium and should review
Yep.
our Prognostica choir.
So, prognosticars are, I would consider, one of the most important things in the game, and one of the things you can really fuck up.
You can absolutely fuck them up.
So, what prognosticars do?
Prognosticas are attuned to a system. They will extend the mission timer in all adjacent systems.
They don't only just do that, they lower the corruption level by 1 in any sector that you place them in. So if we place them in one of these sectors that has corruption in them right now, it would lower it and remove it. It also connects to any adjacent sector. So any sector that has a prognosticar connected to it or hosted in it, you can see the exact troop makeup of a mission. Also, and this is one of the most important things, any place that is connected to or hosting a prognosticar has the mission timer extended by a little bit.
Okay.
So it is important, at least for the first couple prognosticars, that you focus on coverage of as much of the sites as you can.
It's also worth potentially just holding on to prognosticars and then dropping them when you're about to potentially lose a system to keep
Correct.
it, rather than dropping them early.
We will get a number of prognosticars, to the point where holding on to them can become a viable option and still get pretty optimal coverage with the ones we do drop, but we are going to drop this first one.
Are you dropping it?
My-
There is actually a, like, generally best place to drop that only leaves, like, 1 or 2 systems uncovered by them.
I'll be interested to hear it, because my initial one was to post it here, so it connects to...
That is not one of them. You have to realize that, future knowledge, this galaxy map will open up more.
Oh,
Oh,
I was not aware of that. Alright. Shiv, let's go ahead and have you then...
So if we're going to drop them in places that have the most coverage, of the locations we have available right now, that cross. So the place that's there that you're like one space over from that has corruption in it right now,
Mhm.
That is actually one of the places to drop them for coverage.
And that is a good one, because that connects to 4
And
other
more stuff
worlds,
once it
and...
expands.
Yeah.
Also, that one's not on the map yet. The one just to the southwest of the other. Go. Stop moving. Go right from there, and then go right from there across the center, the long center line
Oh,
between the three.
Yeah,
of
it's
them.
the one that's just southwest of the other corruption point.
Yeah, of the other
yeah.
corruption point.
okay.
That is also one. Also, the space that is northwest or northeast of that corruption point is also one that covers a number of spaces that will open up later.
Like this one
No.
right here?
Northeast of the corruption point. So
Northeast.
east.
Or north?
There you go.
That one.
Okay.
Any of those are good now. The other ones aren't on the table yet.
Okay. So let's go ahead and just put it here, just because it covers a good number of the stuff here.
Yeah.
And it eliminates a
doing
corruption
those
point.
spots. Yeah, doing those covers everything but 2 spots on the map.
So we'll go ahead and attune. All right. Buys us a little bit of breathing room.
Yep.
Okay. So there are...
Commander, our prognosticators have detected this bloom in 3 separate systems. We should examine one of them. I have identified this planet as a mission location to combat the bloom. From here,
Yes,
you
yes,
can
yes.
see some details for this mission.
Now,
So
since this is in our prognosticator area, we can actually see the enemies that will be here.
Yeah. In this case, the only enemies that are going to be in these missions are cultists of Nurgle.
You can also see there as we select a location, the amount of time it's going to take to get there.
Correct.
And how many days left?
And the rewards that we can
Yes,
potentially...
each mission will have different rewards.
This one will get us 10 servitors. Whereas this one here is 15
servitors.
And we're right next to this place.
Yep.
So we can potentially get to here and here. Now, the sort of the overriding ethos of this entire game is you are not going to be able to do everything. You are going to get battered. You are going to take losses. You will not be able to do all the missions that show up.
You will basically never be able to do all the missions that show up, which is not how the game works.
So, like, if we went and did this one, that's the only mission we could do. We would not be able to get back in time for either of these ones. Whereas if we do these two, we will be leaving one mission, and one system will have 2 corruption points in it. But that's a trade-off I'm willing to make right now.
The only reason we go over that one for the chance to not get 2 because it has really good rewards. But servitors are kind of important early. That is grimoires, which is nice, but
yeah, we will get grimoires through other means.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and take this one that's right next to us because I think we can still make that and get this one as well. Mayhaps, but we're going to try. Especially because this one also gets us... Yeah, see, that one's...
that one gets us 10... whenever you click anywhere, it shows what travel time is going to get lost. But for the travel you selected.
Yep.
But this is more grimoires anyway, so there's no reason not to do it.
This is more servitors, I mean.
Servitors. Yeah.
Alright, here comes the ship. And it just immediately takes us to the mission screen. We have not unlocked anything under this hazard symbol yet. We're probably not going to do that this session, if I'm being honest.
I don't think so. I think it takes I think that won't start happening until after you finish your first research.
It's
I would
not
also
first...
find it funny if...
Or yeah, it is first research, yeah.
I would find it funny if random warp traveling shenanigans could happen every time you traveled, so somehow we arrive like...
Oh, there
3
absolutely
weeks
is.
before we left, or...
There absolutely is events that can happen mid-warp.
Yeah, there are events that will happen mid-warp. There's nothing like time warps, but events can happen mid-warp.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't arrive 500 years in the future, and well, I guess we didn't exist.
No.
Alright, and let's go into the mission. Hey, would you look at that? There's something different about all of our people.
Yeah.
So,
waiting for this.
Units have been claimed by our esteemed co-hosts. I have not claimed any units. So, currently on the docket, we've got Sweet Zabus, Only Thule, Sandstorm, and Do No Harm, our apothecary. Waiting in the wings, we also have Fitty Boars. His brothers 30 and 40 Boars are in other chapters. And here we go, Rugan. I think we are good with our standard 4 knights still.
Hold on. Is Who was the one who had slower XP?
Hold on. Not that guy.
It might have been Here We Go, We're Gone.
2 crit damage. 3 for ranged attacks with Stormbolter. It might have, in fact, been Here We Go, We're Gone. Hold on a second. Yes.
Yeah, so we should get him and just make sure he's getting XP because he's going to be the slowest leveling.
Yeah.
Give him a Psy Cannon.
Give
Or
me
not
Psy-
Psy Cannon, a Silencer.
Silencer? Got it.
Yep.
Put out ranged weapon, silencer. Give him one of the fancy silencers.
What do we have? Crit damage, crit chance. What's the last one?
+1 damage versus demonic targets.
Okay, well,
which
we're not going to see demonic targets. I'll do crit chance.
All right. Okay.
And we should put him in the squad in place of someone. Oh, you already did 12.
Yeah, I already swapped him in.
Yeah.
He's in place of our teleporter.
Sandstorm. Yep.
We got 2 ranged, our big guy, and our medic.
Yep.
All right. That we start the mission. I also do find it funny. In the image for researching the Poxwalker, this is the tool that the Inquisitor is using. The fucking Narthcum. I feel like that's not sanitary, but
Worried about sanitary with Poxwalker?
yes, because we don't want whatever's in the Poxwalker getting on the rest of the shit. She comes out caked in Poxwalker gore.
Delicious.
I like to imagine there's like hidden hoses everywhere, and Lunette activates them to spray her down the moment she walks out of the library.
Why would you do... You know what you did.
Unclean. You are tracking Poxwalker.
Here echo those I encountered on Coromar.
The hive cities are abandoned, but there is life below. Brothers, seek out any corruption and purge it.
Oh.
Kill all.
Okay, well, I had to take something back from last session. This is also a preset map.
What is your will?
Alright, moving everybody up.
Affirmative. Chaos stirs within the shadows. Unleash me. Standing ready.
Alright, now we're gonna fish for that activation. No. Didn't actually see anybody from the pod.
My blade is yours. But once.
Yeah, we saw someone from the pod.
Yep.
Permission to engage, Commander.
You have a gun.
In fact, have a gun. So we're gonna go ahead and move forward and shoot somebody.
Moving now.
Shoot a couple people.
Yep. I believe the Psy Cannon has the spray attack.
Yeah, target spread attack over arc 45. So I would be able to get that guy.
I mean, you can still move. You have another point of AP.
That's true. Here. Red and... Decimate!
Acid ammunition depleted.
I mean, it does empty the mag, but it does work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If they're dead, they're not causing problems.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe those statues are shootable statues. Since they have the targeting thing on them.
Yeah, it won't tell me anything about them though from here because he can't see them. One second.
I mean, Zabus is melee. You might as well just have him go whack that guy
Yeah,
he can
yeah.
reach.
Yeah.
Sweet Zavis. Need 4 strike to just get rid of that guy.
Yeah.
We do have to be slightly less cavalier about using force abilities, just because that does boost the warp gauge, but we're still not in any danger of having that problem yet.
Taking position. Firing now. For Titan. Threat eliminated.
All right. Get our AP back, so let's just move everybody up.
As what is your will?
Everyone reloads.
Yes.
They do it automatically when the fight ends.
Ah, yeah. That's nice.
Less busy work.
Yep.
Han. Standing ready. I sense something near.
It's pretty much spent, so...
Aye, sir. I am here to serve. Yes, Commander. At once.
And do this, which is most likely going to pop the...
The foe is close.
Nope.
Continue.
Okay. That's fine.
Your orders. At once. May the powers protect us! This way. Sight.
Okay.
The Emperor lights our path.
What's up? Ah, I get 2 of them with a grenade.
Yep.
Nice.
Purge.
Nice.
Moving out.
So, watch here.
Securing position. Firing on target.
Death will only make us stronger.
Hear that, guys? Death will only make him stronger.
No, this involved Nurgle caring about him far more than he actually does.
Yeah, like, he loves his children, but, like, you know, there's a limit to that love.
Yes.
Purely physical? No, it's Slanesh. Sorry.
Here's a good spot.
Oh no, we fired a time bomb.
We are the hammer.
And no damage because we have armor. Ah, they never learn.
Yeah.
At once.
Do no harm? Please apply battlefield medicine to this man.
You forgot to do the attack as part of the move, so you wasted an AP.
God, he is absolutely correct.
We are the hammer.
And
Yes, sir.
here, and throw grenade. Do not worry, we will not run out of grenades.
All enemies have been cleansed. Good work, Commander.
Woo!
Victory!
We got 15 servers. We got 0 corruption
Dude,
modification.
because there's no corruption there.
Yeah, completing missions can lower corruption, so it's not like prognosticars are our only way to do it, but they're a useful ace in the hole. Alright, and nobody got a level.
Happens.
That's not true. Only Thule literally has promotion available.
Oh. Shit, I can't read. Alright. Who had only Thu? Let me pull up my notes here.
I think that was mine.
That's you. Yes. Okay.
Do not ask me for input on it.
Okay, so you're gonna...
I don't know shit about 40k.
Alright.
That's not true. I did remember that Slanesh is the fuck slut of the weird shit in there. So I know very minimal.
Alright, well, since we have them doing regular gun stuff, let's go ahead and just take you along.
If we're gonna keep Thule using the side cannon, where's the side cannon tree?
It's... Onslaught. It's this one down here, I believe. This gives +1 area and a couple damage.
Yeah. So aim toward moving toward that.
Yeah.
Actually, what's the up top there? Top left is the silencer tree.
Yeah, this is the silencer discipline.
Okay, yeah, silence is one. Yeah, so
So moving towards the silencer.
no, this is
Uh,
only Thule. They have the Psycan.
Okay.
Alright, so extra ammo and +2 crit damage. And next time we promote, we can get the shoot back automatically when shot by enemies.
Yep.
For promotion... Yeah, here we go, Rugan is the one with the silencer.
Silencer. Yep.
Okay.
Alright.
To the stars.
And yeah, we can make this one.
Yep.
No problem.
It also gets harder as the galaxy gets bigger. Or as the map gets bigger.
What's that?
Like, trying to get multiple gets harder as the map gets bigger, because they'll be more
That's
spread
true,
out.
yes. The DLC does negate that somewhat, because one of the DLC apparently gives us a second ship. I do not know any of the details about said second ship. All I know is that it mentions getting a second, smaller strike cruiser.
Yeah, I've done none of the DLC stuff myself.
Alright, and this is going to be just the same as before, so let's go ahead and start the mission. Question being, do we want to swap in anybody to get experience? We want Rugan in here regardless, because he's getting XP slower, we want him on as many missions as possible, but we could swap in...
I would figure keep using people we have until they get injured and need to sit out, while we have backups. Unless unless our main team is like several levels above the B team.
Right.
In which case we can swap in some B team people. But we don't have huge level discrepancies yet, so it's not a great reason to start swapping at the moment.
Yeah. Alright, in that case, we're just going to go ahead and keep on going.
And don't worry, people will die.
Yep.
Or just be out of the fight for weeks.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
As it is worth noting, whether or not your character gets an injury and needs to sit out time to rest is based on what their health went down to during the mission, even if you heal them back up.
Yep, even if you heal them back up. It's still...
So even if you push someone all the way back up to full health, if they were dropped down to like the red, they will be out for weeks.
The codes used are old, but they are a mark of an active plague cult. Of that, I have no doubt.
If that is true, my brothers will make short work of them.
Play gold. Okay, big old map, nothing to do but to get moving.
Yep.
This map is substantially less intuitive to move through because you have all these different ways to move, and until you start going, you got no idea as to
Where
enemies could be. Until you get one of those.
Yep. Through the door, got it.
We're just going to go around the back way here.
With haste. Yes, Commander.
You don't need to kick down every
That
door.
Yes, I do.
Oh, fair enough. If I could kick down doors like that, I would do so as well.
Taking position.
My hand's too big for the doorknob.
There we go.
Gods preserve us!
A successful fishing attempt.
Cannot see us. Gods gods, watch over me. Permission to engage, Commander.
Permission granted. Light him up!
MFI when ready.
Advancing. Opening fire.
The pain will set you free.
Would you take off the thing about enemy armor? Thank you.
Nope.
Did you know that enemies have armor?
No! Don't give up now!
This is
Yeah,
the
don't give
part
up
where you
now. Give up tomorrow.
Now.
Another door!
I am his will.
I have just one question for you. Explosions?
I'm down there, Torg.
And the two spread out for another grenade.
I am with you.
Yeah, that is the one downside of the silencer. You cannot use it to Overwatch. I do not want to take cover behind the explosive box. I just
You
got
sure
done.
about that?
I just got done yelling at them for taking cover behind the explosive box.
Just wait. Just wait.
Oh, that guy's on fire. And there's a whole
Yeah,
nother
he was
team
on
over
fire.
there.
Yep.
At your service. What is your will?
Let's right click to set. Trying to remember how to set waypoints. They taught us this in the tutorial, and I have not.
I don't recall.
Okay, never mind. He knows the way.
That path doesn't take you in.
Poke!
No demon shall avoid its fate.
Not a demon, it's just a dude.
What's
No
left?
dude shall avoid their fate.
So it's just
Hey,
that guy?
This is a voice I should not do.
I don't know if Burn to Death guy burned to death or not.
I don't see him.
Well, he's also further south than the camera currently shows.
Taking position.
I think he burned to death.
Yeah, I think he burned to death.
Can you hit that guy?
No. You can see sight lines to things you have sight lines to when you are moving.
Yeah.
At once, Commander.
Okay.
Standing ready.
And
Question.
What's up?
Tag these guys. Just get that
Yeah.
started now.
Knights!
It will not refill your AP.
No.
Even if there's a fight going on.
But look! A convenient explosive device again! I don't think I even need to... No, I will need to
No,
do that
not
for
right.
the, That's fine.
As you command. You have been
Yeah, turns out they don't really need the AP back if they just all decide to cloud around one explosive and die.
So as a note, now you've thrown that grenade.
Uh-huh.
Kills with explosive barrels give you no XP.
Oh. Well, okay then.
They are funny.
Environmental objects that are like the pushover things or shoot down statuary do. Knocking enemies off the map do. Grenades do. Obviously, hitting people's swords and shooting them does. But grenade kills themselves will not gain any XP.
Well.
Explosive barrel kills will not give any XP.
All right. I will know that going forward.
Yeah, there is also some weird stuff like knocking enemies off the map didn't used to give XP, but they patched that in.
At your service.
That guy also chose to burn to death.
All enemies have been
That's an option.
Woo!
Oh.
Cultists are dumb. Grey Knights have got to be like patting themselves in the background. They're like, man, all we got to do is kill cultists. This is way easier compared to our usual jobs.
You'll still get mission XP. You get some amount of XP for every mission, although it decreases as you get higher level.
Right.
And Knights only get XP for kills they get besides mission XP.
Yeah.
Help. Assisting does not help in any way, shape, or form. Only the person killing gets XP.
Okay. Hey, we've got 2 promotions.
Aha.
Yep.
So first, Do No Harm, which I believe is Vince's.
Yes.
All right, Vince.
I have no idea what this character does.
So this is our apothecary. We have options for. Generally, we're aiming for corners, basically. So there's the endurance discipline, where we can give people resistance to damage and purge them of all afflictions. There's the iron arm discipline, where we give people stun with melee attacks. There's the servo skull, where this guy just becomes really good at using the servo skulls to heal people from a distance.
Or Harvest Bloom,
Or Harvest Bloom, or a bunch
the
of
servo
things
skull
related
one
to
is
the
actually
servo
really good.
skulls. Yeah.
As far as like a passive, just can do stuff thing.
Yeah. And then there's the melee discipline, which turns this guy into more of a melee fighter, and gives him the ability to extract all bloom seeds from a target on a regular melee instead of a critical.
Yeah, we haven't seen Bloom Seeds yet. They're mechanics for later. Now, granted, you don't have to go entirely down into corners. The sides do have good stuff too.
Yeah. Like there's the
Like
Scourging
that was just
discipline
plus
up here.
healing.
This one gives him a psychic bleed attack.
Yeah, an area bleed.
Or we can hobble people.
Hobble people. Yeah. You can give him Terminator armor already if you want Terminator armor for him. It's just below his central thing.
Yeah.
Generally for apothecaries, going down the servo skull route is not bad. Or focusing on one of the other corner powers.
Let's go towards the servo skulls then.
Okay.
So up and to the right.
Up and to the right does not link there. Only this way.
Oh, okay. Go. I see.
Yeah.
So if we take him that way, we will be taking him through the battlefield medicine tree, which also just increases his healing.
Okay.
Go ahead and give him +2 max willpower and +2 heal when using the Narthesium. Right. And Sweet Zabus.
Sweet Zabus.
Sweet Zabus, which is...
That's one of mine. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I have Sweet Zabus, and
Yes.
here we go again.
Yeah.
Promote.
You had started going into the armor tree.
This does not stop you from going into the other trees.
What's the top right? Because that's off the armor tree.
Top right is provoke. Target a blast over area 2 to affect enraged. Afflicted targets will attempt to melee attack the source of the affliction.
Yeah, which is good because it forces shooting people to charge you. What else is in the armor tree right now?
Else in the armor tree is target a knight at any range, transfer all of this knight's armor for 1 turn. And gains 1 armor and +3 armor.
And
on
plus 3
charge.
for an extra willpower. Let's make our way into the taunt tree.
Make our way into the taunt
So
tree. Okay, you want to go
Yep.
straight there?
Yeah, just go straight there.
Here we go.
But also has enduring reflexes on it, which will be nice.
All right. Confirm.
All right, recentralize.
Yep.
Because we're sure as hell not making it over there.
Here. Even if you can't make it to a place, you always want to be thinking about, okay, where do I want to move the Baleful Edict to be in optimal range of as many missions as possible?
When more stuff does pop up.
Oh yeah, more stuff is going to pop up, but not until this last one disappears.
We cannot afford to sit on our hands while the bloom spreads unchallenged.
Shush.
Commander.
Why aren't you doing everything?
Yeah, and
Can't be
as
everywhere all at once.
and as Lunette mentions, as we upgrade the ship will get faster.
Yeah. One of the things we can do is increase the engines. And
All right, the augmentation
project.
chamber's up. So we have all these fancy new servitors. Let's see. Additional projects unlocked if we increase the reactor output. I think that's the only project we have. Oh, no, never mind. We have barracks and we
Okay.
have another prognosticar. we can unlock.
Prognosticar. Yep.
I'm generally of the opinion you try to unlock prognosticars as quick as possible.
You're in control, so go for it.
Can we do more than one research, or
Nope.
No,
we
they can only do a single research at a time.
Yeah, we can only repair
Alright.
one thing at a time on the ship. So we can research. Let's go over here and see how far along we are on that. 3 days remaining.
Yeah, that one's timed specifically to match up to the phone call.
Yeah. And speaking of the phone call, well, first off, we get the results of the research.
This poxwalker was one of the Imperial faithful, afflicted with a strain of mutagenic virus. There is no doubt we are dealing with the work of the plague god Nurgle. This must be the bloom whispered of in those astropathic fragments. Within the carcass, I found a germ of some ancient power corrupted with a foul psychic resonance. This seed is used to spread the virus. Of that I am certain, but it arrived to me damaged, and there is little else I can learn from it. In order to study how we might fight this plague, I must acquire one of these seeds completely intact. I can instruct your brothers on how to extract these specimens properly. Please ensure they pay attention. The Emperor loathes indolence. Let's not disappoint him.
Okay.
And phone call time.
This is Inquisitor Cartha Vakir of the Ordo Malleus. I am alumnus of Evixia Danica. Access code Clarion Magenta 111721. I require immediate response from Titan.
This is Grandmaster Vardan Kai responding, Inquisitor. This act borders on heresy. The screams of the astropaths you burned already reverberate through the warp. It is fortunate for you that I am prosecuting a campaign in the nearby Chimera system. I suggest you explain yourself, and quickly.
Grandmaster, I have commandeered the Baleful Edict. We face...
You have seized a Grey Knight strike cruiser.
As is my right, I have foreseen dire omens for this sector. Already Nurgle's poxwalkers roam free.
Oh, indeed. I'm surprised an agent of your pedigree is not equipped to deal with such lesser threats of chaos. Agravain, perhaps you can clear up this nonsense for me.
My lord, he fell in battle during our last campaign against the Cadium cult. We had been returning to Titan for repairs when this Inquisitor intervened.
Ah, Brother Ektar, that is sorry news. I trust then that you have appointed one of our brothers to act in his stead. Well, speak up then, Commander.
Okay.
What say you to this Inquisitor's story?
So we're going to pause for a second, and we're going to state the second sort of ethos that this game wants you to operate on. Do not be wishy-washy when it comes to taking sides. Because we get 3 different options here. Some of these options get us bonuses. Some of these options do not get us bonuses. So, like, if you discuss the Bloom Seed, you get nothing from this conversation. However, if we say, agree with the Inquisitor, like, okay, there is something going on here, and someone does need to deal with this.
A single one of your brothers could...
So for 45 days, we get 100% increased research speed.
This Inquisitor be granted an entire
Nice.
strike force.
I am confident these poxwalkers are the symptom of a much greater cancer. I only need a little time to conduct further research.
Very well. I am not in the habit of second-guessing those under my command, that is, until given a good reason. I will leave the baleful edict in your care.
You have my thanks, Grandmaster, but there is yet another reason I desired to speak with you. As steward of the Armory of Titan, I had hoped you could release further assistance.
Don't thank me yet. I will give you 60 Tertean solar days to prove this threat warrants the deployment of an entire strike force. Battle-worn as it is, Strike Force Xiphos could be put to good use in several campaigns across the galaxy. Any further requisition from my arsenal will have to be earned.
But I... Typical.
After each Grand Master's report, you can spend your requisition to unlock and upgrade armor slots. The resource slot gives you access to the new Knight reinforcements, servitors, grimoires, and other resources at the end of a mission.
Okay, so at the end of every mission, we have a chance of proccing one of the things from these categories, depending on how many of these grimoires that we have invested into them. So, for example, if we invest
You can only unlock or upgrade
into Knight...
each slot once per report. Slot
Shush.
upgrades increase your chance of accessing more and better equipment and resources.
Yeah, so, like, with this upgrade in Knight Requisition, we will always unlock a base rank recruit as a reward choice from a mission that we do. We can also choose to forego that one in this one if we wanted, and instead put it into ranged requisition, melee requisition, armor requisition, or war gear. Later on in the campaign, after a certain story point, we can also get Officio Assassinorum units as rewards. Start getting snipers, cloaked melee units, things like that. But for the moment, we don't have access to those. So I am open to input from the group, but my default choice for here would be Knights, War Gear, and because we're running pretty ranged heavy, go ranged on this one.
I would actually do, since we have the starting range weapons at least have effects on them, I'd consider doing armor requisition to begin with so we get armor if actual benefits on it.
That is true. So yeah, Knights, armor, war gear, and I think that is a good choice. If we get extra grimoires, we can pump them into here, although there are other things we can do with grimoires.
Yep.
Go ahead and confirm. Also, he's not kidding about that 60 days. You do need to get a seed and do the next part of this by the 60 solar days. It's not that hard to do it, as long as you're concentrating on, getting seeds.
Yep.
But he is not kidding about that stuff. However, now that we have done the research, we are... locked out of the main research tree up here, this like story cluster, because we don't have a requisition. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, audio too loud?
Yeah, it was blaring out the audio when we went into the research menu.
Ah.
So we have two things that we can do now. We can either go over here and do Psychic Attunement, so that Prognosticars now remove 2 corruption in the system when you drop them in, and unlocks further things down here for Prognosticars. Or we can go over here and start unlocking the ability to do stratagems in the battlefield. Sorry, go ahead.
Which are very useful.
Yeah. Generally, this is what I want, and especially since we have 100% increased research speed, we can make some significant progress down this and still go back over for this in our research time. We're going to go ahead and start that research, because you always want some kind of research going. Augurium is still in production. Now we have access to the armory, which shows this just shows you your choices that you've made. There is no real way to upgrade here except during the Grandmaster report. And I think that's where we're going to leave off for today. We've done a couple fights, we've unlocked new gameplay stuff and new avenues of research, and our boss is only vaguely still pissed at us. And mostly pissed off at the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Whether or not we find something that will, validate the Inquisitor's findings is almost a certainty, given the fact that there's more of this game to play. But, that'll have to be for next time. So, thank you for joining us on our Sound Goblin Gaming Thursday night doubleheader gaming session. Join us on Sunday when we continue our playthrough of Super Robot Wars. Join us on Monday as we continue through Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, maybe. And join us back here on Thursday when we continue to look through the Librum and talk about D&D books, and then hurry outside because, oh no, there's more chaos to fight.
Always more chaos to fight.
Yep.
Infinite chaos.
Until then, I've been your host, the Krampus.
I've been Shiv.
I've been Hunter Grain.
And I'm Vincent.
Alright. And remember, in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, explosive barrels don't give you experience. Which is very sad.